Alright, so I'm back, and today we are going to take a look at something I'm actually kind of excited for, and I didn't think I would be as excited. But we're going to take it TFC Toys F16 Falcon, and there he is in his jet mode, which is a really awesome looking jet mode. Sorry, I'm reaching across the camera here. He also comes with the foot plate for Uranus and a little clear yellow bit that you're supposed to use to make it into a stand of sorts. I haven't figured out how to connect it onto the jet to make it stable. I don't. It doesn't show in instructions where it's supposed to go, so I'm not gonna show it off. I can't. I don't know where it goes, but it's kind of cool that they they gave it a try. The whole let's add in one cheap little plastic piece and turn this foot into a stand and see if we can't make people happy. Although I'm not going to display them in jet mode, so who cares? So I'll just set the foot off to the side. And as I always do, I'm not going to be really showing off. I'm not going to show off the combine mode for him. I won't. It's not what I do. This is a review of the figure itself. By itself, it's not. It has nothing to do with the actual combine mode. That will come later. I want to. What I like to do is tell you if this thing is worth picking up by itself. And I'm kind of sick and tired of getting those combiners that are like, this guy's okay if you're looking at getting all the other figures. I don't like the compromise. So we'll see how this guy is on his own. So he does have a little landing gear to do roll. I always think that landing gear on jets and space shuttles, helicopters, stuff like that, having them roll is kind of pointless for me. If the car or the tank doesn't have some sort of rolling treads, unforgivable. But I mean, it's so much weight on these tiny little wheels that it doesn't roll very well. I mean, it rolls, but it doesn't roll very well. If they're just stationary pegs, it'd probably work just as well. I mean, it stops rolling when I stop pushing on it, so, and that'd be the same thing if it was just a static peg. Anyway, so he does have the landing gear, and they can just fold back up like so, and like that, and there he is in his jet mode. And I really love this jet mode. This style of jet, I believe it's a Russian style, is like my second favorite jet form. My favorite being the Seeker mold. Anyway, so while we got them out, comparison in between the size comparison anyway of the two molds. As you can see, Skydive is bigger. Camera zoomed all the way out, so I'm gonna try. There we go. So as you can see, he is bigger. His nose cone comes up to about here. Bigger wingspan, all around just a bigger jet, but not massively bigger, which is good. But in the G1 show, the aerial bots were all smaller than the Seekers. So again, that goes back into the I think we need bigger Seekers that are Seekers, not some sort of eye gear crap. Anyway, I just think the Seeker should be a small Voyager. You know, so it comes up, you know, maybe mid-head or a head shorter than Megatron. I think that'd be cool. If I ever win the lotto, that's the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a third-party company. I'm going to build Voyager scale Seekers. Anyway, so he comes with these little side missiles, which just scream, I'm going to fall off and get lost. So I will be gluing those into place at some point. Because they don't need to come off for transformation or anything like that. He also comes with these big missile pods that go under the wings. And they look alright. Nothing spectacular about them. But yeah, I really, really like this jet mode. It's a really awesome jet. But I did get the Wings of Uranus kit. So if you want to replace these missiles, I like to use these black ones with the red stripes. They just kind of fit in better, and you can just plug them in under the wing. And if you wanted to, you actually don't have to replace these missiles. If you really want them to be like, I'm going on a bombing mission, everything is about to die. I personally don't like these big ones with the missile pods. I mean, they look okay by themselves, but the missile pods, I think, look just a little bit better. So, plug this in here. And there are 2 ports under the wings. There's one here and here. So you can plug this in up here if you chose. I think that looks a little cramped. So, I'm going to go with that. And I kind of, you know, I kind of hope that I mistransformed this, but I don't think I did. But I wish there was a place for these hands to go, because this looks kind of lame just having the hands jet out like that. But you don't really notice it that much unless you're looking down at the bottom, where you can clearly see it's just a robot with the jet bits on the back. Anyway, so there's that. To transform him, okay, here's one thing I don't like about this figure at all, is all the wings are on the 5mm ports. So I mean, you could take all of them off and just have like a core jet, and you can even take these tail fins off. I think that's cheap. I think they should have engineered it a little bit better. I think these things need to be permanently fixed on the jet. They do need to rotate, but I still think that they could have designed that a little bit better. It's a little irritating. Not too bad, but it is irritating. And yeah. And then right here, I want to show this off. He's got a little bit of a stress mark going right across here. Yeah, you can't really see it, but it's right in this crease right here. So it's not bad. It is just something to point out. It's in a position that I'm not worried about it like breaking, like airburst, where it's like, okay, you know, because it's not the hinge that's stressed. It's the port where the plug plugs in. So worst case scenario, it might end up getting a little loose there. But that's something that we can all fix. Whereas the airburst one, it's like, okay, this is the hinge. If you bend this thing too much, it's going to break off. Which I think that's probably why they did the port system for these things. Because like when I bend this, you can see it makes a gap there. So it's like all the way in, turn it. Now there's a gap. And I think that's so that it can alleviate some of that stress. Which, if that's why, I still think they could have come up with a better design, but it's forgivable because it means that they're trying to make the figure last longer. Okay, enough of my tangents. So to transform him, first thing you want to do is pull these little pieces down like this, and then this whole assembly will come back like so, and just kind of keep that back up there out of the way. You pull these arms out just a little bit, and then you can fold the wings back. Try and keep my eye out for any other stress marks. I know there's one big one on this guy, and I will show that off when we get there. Fold the arms up, and then these wings somehow are supposed to rotate around. It's kind of hard to with the arms. You can take the wings off again to help with transformation if you wanted to, but you don't necessarily have to. Whereas Airburst, it felt like everything is a little too... I'm sorry, I'm not going to talk about Airburst anymore. Just upset. Okay, so you rotate the wings around, and you really can fiddle with them and put them however you want to. Take this little gray piece here, and it just kind of... It's on a double hinge, and it just kind of folds up, and then in, and then lays flush on the back. And then you can take this thing, move it back like that. And like I said, you can rotate these wings however you want to. This is the configuration I like. I think it looks much better like that. But I mean, there's so many options. You have them straight back. You can still have them facing upwards. You can flush them all the way. I just like to have a little bit of the wings there. So then you take this piece, fold these down, fold the forearm in, and it kind of frictions together there. Do the same thing over here, like that. You can split the legs, and you push these little exhausts up. Pull the legs down. So you hear that nice click. There you go. And then these pieces back here will rotate around. And then you can just fold them up like this. And here's where I've got a big stress mark. Again, it's in a position that I'm not worried about it. It's just something to point out. But right here, where that peg goes in, there's a really long stress mark. So I mean, if it was in any other place, it probably would break, but because of the entire leg is there, I'm not entirely that worried about it. It is something that I'm going to keep an eye on for sure, but and then I like to just fold these back. You can fold them flush against the body, you can rotate them up like this, you can fold them down. I just like to fold them back because it gives them a little bit more of a heel spur. Take the foot, fold it down, and then it pushes down, rotates around, pushes down, rotates around, and then you rotate the face forward, and there is Airburst in robot mode. Or not Airburst, oh my god. I'm sorry. Skydive or Falcon, whichever you want to call them. I'm gonna go with Skydive. 'Cause, yeah. So yeah. There's that. Let's do some size comparisons real quick. Then we'll go into posability and all that good jazz. So there he is next to the Seeker mold. As you can see, he comes up to about mid-chest. So he's definitely bigger than the Deluxe Seekers. Megatron's right here, so we'll grab Megatron. And there he is next to the Classics Megatron. I mean, and this right here is the size scale I wish the Seekers were in. TFC, remold these things into Seekers. Please. I would spend $100 on that easily. I saw somebody do a custom on one of the other, I can't remember his name, but one of the other aerial bots from TFC, and he just looks like Starscream. It's awesome. But I really, really wish TFC would do that. I would easily spend, yeah, I mean, they don't have to have the combiner parts, so maybe they can be a little bit cheaper than $100 a piece, maybe like $60 a piece or something like that, and I'd be insanely happy. And here he is next to Hercules. So he comes up to, he's just a little bit above the knee, so he's in the same size scale as the Hercules bots. Because he compresses down a little bit. Uranos does make a bigger combiner, but yeah, I can't judge him on that. I'm just judging him as him. So, posability, his head, it's on a ball joint. Great range of motion there. I wish this neck piece would lock down a little bit better, because right now it's just kind of a floppy. It's just a little floppy, but it's not a deal breaker for me. Shoulders can move up, down, in, out. There's a bicep swivel, bends at the elbow. Nothing at the hand really. You get a little bit of movement due to the way the wrist connects together, but it's not anything substantial. He does got a nice clickety waist. Legs can ratchet up, back, in and out. Nice ratchet. I actually really like this ratchet. It even just looks good. And it just looks like a big gear system in there. Swivels at the thigh, bends at the knee. His foot can move up and down a little bit on that hinge. But more than anything, it just kind of pivots. And it's on a ball joint, so it gets a decent range of motion. But yeah, So he does have the missile pods you can plug into his hands. If you want to, or you can pull a Seeker mold or a Seeker style, plug them into the forearms there. Or you can ditch them all together, spend $50 and give them a gun. And right there is what I envisioned a really awesome aerial bot to be. I absolutely love this figure. I give him I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. And the reason for that is I got him the same day as Airburst. And I know I said I wouldn't bring in Airburst back into this conversation, but that was on Saturday. And Airburst, no, I got them Friday night. And I played with Airburst a little bit Friday night, and then I did the review on him, and he's been on my shelf ever since. I have not stopped messing with this guy since Friday night. This guy is a lot of fun to play with. I'm really enjoying it. He's a really good representation of the aerial bot, and I've got hair everywhere. Which is weird, because I have no hair. Let me pause this real quick. He's just... the reason why I can't give him any higher is there is the point I made about the pegs. I'm not a huge fan of those. How everything's held together with the pegs. I'm not a huge fan of those. I can overlook it a little bit, but not entirely for them. But the stress marks, I'm not worried about them. They're not in a position that I'm going to be worried about, and at least his landing gear folds out without it breaking off. Again, I'm sorry I keep talking about Airburst, but he really has left a bad taste in my mouth. But the head. This is not this is not his head. This is not the right head. I'm really hoping that like Dr. Wu or somebody, one of those other companies comes out with a head upgrade for the aerial bots, because I don't think this one's good. And I'm getting text messages and emails. It's all going to hell, man. It's all going to hell. It's my day off. I've had a lot of caffeine. But anyway, I think this guy's really, really awesome. So yeah, I'm very comfortable with an 8 out of 10 for this guy. I would actually say I would recommend picking him up even if you weren't planning on picking up the rest of the aerial bots. I'm not basing this review on the other aerial bots because I haven't played with them yet. One day I will have them and I will do reviews on them. And eventually we'll see the Uranos, and I'll give a rating on Uranos. But for now, he's just by himself. And, $100 is a little steep for just a small Voyager big deluxe scale. But I honestly think he is, aside from the head, he is the best representation of Skydive out there, just period. I absolutely love this figure. He's a lot of fun to play with. I do recommend him. So, question of the day is going to be, I'm on limited funds. I'm trying to pay off bills and blah. But anyway, so my question of the day is, which aerial bot do you think I should pick up next? I know some people say that they're not as good as the others, but if they're even in the same range as him, I'm going to like them. So let me know which one you guys think I should pick up next. And I guess that's it. So, great figure. I love him.